in a world where things get moist.
The sticky spot.
Welcome to the sticky spot.
So sticky.
So sticky.
So icky.
Yeah. We are here to talk about The Flash. Oy. And we could not think of anyone better to join us than the Joker voice. down
Yes,
below.
because the Flash is a joke. Just saying.
Did I freeze?
You're slow. Now
Yeah,
you sped up a little bit.
Well, I mean,
Did you
yeah,
just
she is
insult
slow.
me?
There we go. All right.
Way to catch up. All up in the mustard and can't catch up. There you
So-
go.
Hello.
Really quick, if you guys don't know what the sticky spot is, this is only our second one that we're doing. It's a special segment that we created just for this in honor of Josh, our cinnamon roll, where we're going to be doing movie reviews or anything else that we may want to talk about that wouldn't fill up a whole stream. Look at these old men with their back scratchers.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a movie. So, because we want to keep this nice, short, and sweet. Well, I don't know about sweet. I don't know about sweet because we got some
Or short.
shit to say. We are going to each give a review, and then we're going to talk over each other at the end. And then we're going to give our final rating on how many splats we want to give this out of 4. Because, you know, the more cream on the cinnamon buns, the better. So let's see.
Out
how
of
this
4,
goes.
so it doesn't even deserve a 5th one. There's not even an option for that one.
No, I blame Canva because that's just the way the cinnamon roll background looks. There's only 4.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna time you, JV. I'm
Oh,
gonna
boy.
give you as the guest. Don't look at the clock. You got 15 minutes. All right, go.
Okay, first off, things I liked. It's always nice seeing Gal Gadot as the Wonder Woman. Cool. The kudos to the recreation of 1989's Wayne the Manor. Kudos on that. You had an interesting ending at when spoilers when Barry attempts to set things right and he has this moment to do with his mom. That's a nice thing. That's it. Okay. The CGI in this film was a absolute crap fest. Dear God, you could tell that this was filmed in a green-walled studio the entire time. From the opening scene, you have a Quicksilver X-Men ripoff of Barry trying to save babies that fell out of a infant ward, and he puts a baby in a microwave.
There's definitely a joke there.
It was a joke, but it wasn't funny. Let's see. This is supposed to be a Flashpoint film, yet it does not follow the Flashpoint paradox at all in any way, shape, or form. So we get Bruce Wayne when we should have Thomas Wayne. They threw in story elements from Red Sun when they have to go save Superman in Siberia, who's kept in this spherical prison. That's from Injustice 2. And Kara Zor-El, it's Kara Zor-El for one, which it's not Kara Zor-El. Kara Zor-El's a blonde. And I felt sorry for that actress because she's more of a plot device than a character in this film. You get the race swapped Iris West. Let's stop the gendercide, please. Oh, wow. I mean, I could keep going. You got Barry's dad was Billy Crudup, and now it's Ron Livingston, who I usually like, but he was terrible in this. Jesus. We've got the Snyder Bros out there trying to blame this film on James Gunn, which he had nothing to do with this. And recently, the director has come out and said that, well, yes, the it's obviously Ebert Thawne, the Reverse Flash, who kills Barry's mom. Would have been nice to see. Would have been nice to see. Would have been nice to see that. But they were setting him up. They were setting up Reverse Flash to be the big bad, which implies he assumed he was getting a sequel.
Right.
This is a lame duck film. These 4 films this summer are all lame ducks. The Snyderverse is over. There is no hashtag restore the Snyderverse. There's going to be a hashtag incinerate the Snyderverse. And it could not die any sooner, thank God. Oh, where else can I go with this? I will say this. Bruce Wayne's the Mercedes Benz, that was nice. That was nice. Oh, and speaking of Bruce Wayne, George fucking Clooney.
Best part of the movie.
I thought that was I know you're not liking it, but for me and Josh,
I hated that film. I hated that
I didn't
film.
like the film either.
So,
first of all, to call it the film, that's an insult to films.
So just seeing him, and I'm like, why? Why? Cameos were awful, and the CGI in the big cameo scene was just atrocious. You got to see the rumored back in the day Nick Cage, Superman. That horrible CGI rendering of Christopher Reeve made me actually angry. Seeing George Reeves, and then the guy who played the Flash in the 90s TV series, that was okay. But this film is just a mess. It has no idea what story they are trying to tell. It got completely reshot twice. So you're talking a production budget of upwards of $400 million with that. And that's before you count in marketing and someone here who actually works on the retail end of the movie biz. You get that total price tag escalating like this. Your window to become profitable becomes very, very small. So this film needs to get about $1 billion to break even. That's not happening.
Mm-mm.
And I also have to think, and Shanti and I talked about this earlier today, with when it comes to the decision to keep this film going. How bad was that Batgirl film?
Yeah.
That it got scrubbed, and they let this thing keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So I will actually
You didn't even bother to see the post-credit scene, did you?
I didn't. I had heard about it. I didn't need to see it, which is weird because in the Flashpoint Paradox, the animated film, which follows the comic a lot, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are kind of central to the story, and they get little cameos. And I will reserve the right to my to about the halftime that I have left in case I need it.
Okay.
I will defer to you guys now.
Honey, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I mean, I can go. Mine's short and sweet.
Okay, go ahead. My list is probably a little longer than yours. Go right ahead.
Good parts, none of it. Bad parts, all of it.
All of it.
It was a travesty, and I agree with you. How bad was Batgirl that they shelved that and then released this shit? I think that this was just purely to recoup some of the hole that they dug themselves into. And you're absolutely right. It's going to have to make $1 billion because, people seem to think that in the cinema industry, we make all of our money off concession sales. And that once was the case, but not anymore. At this point, most of the studio deals are pretty much 50-50 when it's all said and done. So if it makes, $1 billion, 500 million of that's going to the film exhibition industry. So that only leaves 500 million left for the studio. So like you said, it's going to need that to break even between the production cost alone, not to mention the marketing for it.
Right.
So I mean, it's I don't know what Warner Brothers was thinking on every possible level.
Zack Snyder, that's
I mean,
what they were thinking.
they just it. I was actually genuinely excited for this film, and I went in. Maybe my hopes were too high, my expectations were
No,
too
it wouldn't
high.
have mattered. I don't think it would have
But
mattered.
I mean, even Keaton's Batman couldn't save it. I mean, it tickled my fancy for all of about 5 seconds, and then I started to fall asleep because it just was that bad. I lost any interest or desire to be invested in what was going on. So there you go.
Ready?
Oh,
I would rather it have been a movie about a guy in a trench coat running around showing his junk to everybody. That sounds more like The Flash. I would have rather seen. So.
Well, which
that
almost happened.
Just go to New York.
Which that almost happened. As
yeah. Oh God.
We were talking about that. The stupid Marvel type humor, which included the male hero being naked, and they got dangerously close.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that much of Ezra Miller. I'm sorry.
No.
And I'm sorry, but I mean, Marvel, well, maybe not as of recent, but in the first 13 years worth of movies that we got the good stuff, the humor was good in Marvel. I actually enjoyed the humor. It was actually very good. And that's one of the things that I had, and one of the things that Josh and I talked about is that the movie is very disjointed. It didn't know if it wanted to be a DC movie or if it wanted to be a Marvel movie. And it's like, pick a fucking lane.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, which is the first thing on my list, is it was too fucking long. This movie did not need to be 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Supposedly, his original cut was 4 hours long.
Yeah,
so.
you could keep that. You could keep that. I'm not watching 4 hours of that shit.
Which, by the way, the animated Flashpoint Paradox, an hour and 40 minutes,
and it's fantastic.
Yes,
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. There has become this wildly huge misconception that a movie needs to be long to be good, and that doesn't make any sense to me. That's just not true.
There's a reasoning for that. So when these films go to streaming, which HBO Max has, which HBO Max is the which is now Max, the streaming service of the Warner Brothers.
Right.
The longer you pad that, that is for Nielsen ratings for streaming. Right. Because you're going to be tempted to watch the entire thing, and that just racks up those just rack up the minutes watched. I mean, there is no reason a film should last more than 2 hours. Very few reasons.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, unless you're doing something like Lord of the Rings, where I thought it was totally perfectly fine that Peter Jackson had to sit there and make a 3-4 hour movie. I get that. That's fine. I understand there's a lot of story to tell, and it still didn't cover everything because those books are massive. Those books are long. There's so much detail. So, I get that in the same way that, I was talking about this recently, The Count of Monte Cristo. I mean, that book is super long. I mean, you would have to turn that into a mini series of some sort to be able to tell every single story. It just can't be done. It just can't be done. You ready for my shit?
you look at a movie like The Batman, though. I mean, that was 3 hours. I wouldn't cut a second of it.
There was very little that I could find that could be cut from the Batman, and I loved honestly every minute of it. So I'm also biased though because I love Batman. So
I would have trimmed down the ending because anyone who works with or is a student of J.J. Abrams, they don't know how to end films.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Are you ready for my list?
Yes.
Just give it to us.
Well, I already told you too long. Agreed with all of you guys. The CGI, I just couldn't get over it, especially with the whole baby scene. I mean, again,
Those
it
babies look
felt
terrible.
like it wasn't even that. It felt like they were trying to replicate the opening credits of Deadpool. You know, that they were trying to go for that motif, and it just didn't work for this at all. I found it to be completely ridiculous. Ben Affleck, barely in it. And I was telling JV, as much as I hate Ben, I actually did not like seeing that he was barely used. I really thought he was going to have a much bigger part.
Well, he was supposed to originally.
Yeah. Keaton, completely wasted. Everything that you saw in the trailer, that's what you get in the movie. I mean, it was just all a bunch of one-liners. So yeah, by the time we saw him, it was like the emotional impact was no longer there. They should have kept him under wrap. The Zod plot point, totally pointless in my opinion.
Didn't need it.
Didn't need it. Served no purpose in my opinion. Ezra Miller could not have been more obnoxious. I'm sorry. I've never wanted to punch somebody in the throat more because I just felt like, what is wrong with him? It was like he was either brain damaged or needed a whole bottle of Ritalin. I just didn't. He wasn't funny, and I love humor. Anyone who knows me, I have a very good sense of humor, and I love to laugh. I love comedy. That is like my life. This just was not funny. He's not funny. Again, same. Ron Livingston, terrible. I mean, even judging by my audience, that I've been going to the movies a lot recently, and my audiences are very telling. I swear you could hear a pin drop in that auditorium. In fact, the only thing that did get a reaction, which is why I disagree with you, JV, was the George Clooney thing. I don't like that movie either. I hate that movie. But there was something about that I really did enjoy. It was like, oh my God. And then, of course, he came to the realization that even by returning that can, spoiler, it still didn't fix the timeline, and that's why we're getting a different Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's because Barry really didn't set things right.
No, he didn't.
No, because he still altered things by interacting with his mother.
It didn't matter. That's why I thought it was funny that the lady next to me was like, I don't get it. What's going on? Why is it George Clooney?
Well, if you notice, Barry is standing in the spot where his dad was standing, and he looks up at the cat. I
noticed that.
They altered that, so that changed the outcome of the trial.
Yep.
Yeah, because he moved the cans to the top shelf so that his dad would have to look up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So he
exactly.
he still altered things. He just thought that would fix it somehow because it wouldn't have an effect until later. But that
it
didn't make a difference. It's a ripple effect. So
yeah, and I actually watched the post-credit scene. Completely stupid. Made no sense.
Stupidest shit I've ever seen on film.
Again, not funny. And again,
I don't know why Momoa did that.
This is what I love about South Florida people. We are vocal. We are a vocal people. When that post-credit scene ended, this one girl was like, what the fuck was that? She said it so loud. I was laughing because I was right there with her. Like, what the fuck was that?
I want to go and say this now that I've heard other points and whatnot. There actually was a story here.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm not denying that.
So the part where we now, according to the director, that of course it was Ebar Thawne. It was the Reverse Flash. Okay, fine. You've got that story point. He misses his mom. He could. His dad could have been denied parole, and Barry just starts running, and he's frustrated, angry, and when he finds out that he can alter things in time, this is where you get that purplish demon looking thing coming through, because you're right. Now the Zod storyline had no purpose whatsoever. It was merely a plot device, because the real antagonist in the entire film is the Flash.
Yeah.
Barry.
It's true.
He is the bad guy.
Yeah. Through.
So you could play that thing, and so the having to set things, the constantly trying to fix the past to to fix events. A good story point. When he goes to actually set things right, and that moment where he's just interacting with his mom is a great. That's where the film should have ended.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where the story should end. It was just dumb. Like I said, they pulled from the Flashpoint paradox. They pulled from Red Sun. They pulled from the game Injustice 2. This is
And
why,
again, repetition doesn't mean that it's going to be funny. So while I enjoyed the Eric Stoltz joke at first,
it would have been great once.
They just beat it. Like, oh my God. It was like, okay, I get it. Like, stop. Like, you don't need to repeat this over and over. Like, it was funny the first time. Okay, we get it. Eric Stoltz was supposed to be in Back to the Future and it didn't happen. He got replaced. Like, enough. And then my other thing is, again, I was telling Josh this after the movie because we spoke like immediately afterwards. And I told him, I said, look, I understand that movies like this, it's very easy to want to quickly default to using the altering of time, as a plot device. But for me, it's getting old already. I'm sick of it. So it dawned on me, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's why I'm starting to think that even from the very beginning of the movie, what we saw was already a completely like different timeline. And I only say that because I do find it strange that Batman's suit is completely different. I thought Alfred was acting rather strangely in the beginning, and everything, it was just so odd to me that I was like, are we already like in a weird time loop? And the fact that it's Ron, and I get it, Billy Crudup couldn't come back, but I'm wondering if maybe that's what they were going for, that it was already fucked up from the very beginning of the movie.
I don't think so because of who was playing Diana and Bruce.
Okay.
Initially,
it just felt so weird. It just felt out of place.
And this is the problem you get with a multiverses. For one, I'm sick of them.
Me too. I'm tired of it.
It's a played out trope because it's
a gimmick.
It is a gimmick.
It hasn't been done well, and really, when you save the multiverse, what's there after this?
What's left? Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
what could be a bigger threat than that?
So when Marvel was good, first you had New York, then you had the Earth, then you had the galaxy.
Right.
You're going to the multiverse now. You got all these stories that are left that you want to tell. So what are the stakes now?
Yeah, it's true. You've hit the peak. I agree 100% with that. And that's another thing. Again, that's another thing where I felt like, are you making a Marvel movie or a DC movie? One of the very first things that I noticed when they got to the end with all the different universes colliding, I was like, why are they the colors of the Infinity Stones? That was my first thought.
Well, supposedly, it's the color spectrum of emotions that the Green Lanterns have. But every time I saw Ron Livingston, I kept expecting to hear Diedrich Bader like, "Hey Peter, the breast exam check's back on."
Channel 9.
And that would have fit because Diedrich Bader did voice Batman. Oh man, so,
no. Oh my God, it was just It was just so bad. I wanted, and I told JV in the green room, like, I'm actually, comb through my Twitter, watch our Guardians of the Galaxy review that we did in the very first Sticky Spot. I am not an overly negative person on the regular. Well, that's why you're here, because we knew you'd be the best person for this job. But I have liked every single movie that I have seen this year, pretty much. You and I, we loved John Wick 4, Josh and I. I loved Megan. I loved Cocaine Bear. I loved Renfield. All those movies were completely entertaining, had fun watching them, was able to shut my brain off and truly escape. This, I've only walked out of a movie once in my life. I almost walked out of the movie after the baby scene.
The baby.
And that's literally the beginning of the
microwave.
movie. I mean, this was the best part, was my light up cup. My cup that lights up. That was the best part. And I saw this movie for free, and I still wanted money back. That's how bad this was. And I told my mom,
me too.
Don't waste your $5 on Tuesday to watch this with Dad.
I am
know
glad
you want to see
I only
Keaton,
paid
but don't.
$5.
Don't.
That was
She was very disappointed.
So I when I went, because I got the $5 matinees, I make sure that the house that I'm watching it in makes more than the studio does. So
Right.
I went and I looked for a scabby dog, but it was a matinee, so there were no scabby dogs to eat there. I got my
Scabby dogs are the best, man.
I'm
You gotta
like that,
wait until the
KG,
skin
too.
is
You
nice
know,
and jerky-ish.
Yes.
I at least try and
Get a
you know,
soda or
I at
something.
least try and do give money when it comes to the
Yeah.
concessions, because I still am very much about the movie theater experience.
Yes.
You know,
And
I love it. There's nothing like it. I'm sorry. So
No,
even as much as this movie sucked, I still enjoyed like sitting there in
I
the dark
like-
with the sound.
I like going to the theater.
Yeah, me too.
I enjoy that.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. This was
Incinerate the Snyderverse.
Oh
Let this thing
It's
die.
burned, man. It's dead.
It
It's so dead. And I love the ideas that they had for this movie. I mean, it had so much potential, but
Mhm.
they just it lived up in no way, in no capacity did it
No.
meet
And
any
and
of
I
my
and I
expectations.
did have a level of excitement. Go to our TikTok. I mean, I was wearing my Batman 89 shirt. I was, all
I had my
ready
Flash
for it.
shirt on,
He had
man. I
his
was
Flash
pumped.
shirt on. I mean, there was a level of excitement, and only because of Keaton, not because of anything else. And it just fell
I mean, I was
completely
excited to see a
flat.
good Flash movie. I mean, to
Yeah.
me, the Flash is such an underappreciated character. Anyone who knows DC lore knows that
He's
at the center of every major story throughout their comics is the Flash. The Flash
Yeah.
is a huge part of DC, and very important when it comes to them rebooting their stories and whatnot. I mean, they've used him in so many different crisis events, and it just, for them to play him out like this, I mean, it was such a horrible way to kind of see these characters say their goodbye. What an awful send off for them. And then Aquaman too. Like, what's up with that? And then Blue Beetle, what's up with that? Like, why even bother?
These are all lame ducks. These are all
Oh yeah,
lame ducks.
absolutely.
And they were too far along. They were pretty much already in the can.
Yeah.
So Zaslav couldn't write them off. So they have to. So for those folks out there who have heard James Gunn or David Zaslav say that this was a great film, they're going to say that.
You're right.
This is right now about
Hollywood's still a business. It's a business, people.
We are going to lose money on this. Let's try and to mitigate how bad this loss is going to be. Mm-hmm. No one is going to badmouth a film before its release.
Of course. Unless you're the director of that Fantastic Four movie. The reboot. I remember when he did that, I was like, you're an idiot too. Why would you do that?
Well, he was supposed to get a Star Wars film.
Oh, too, yeah. Yo, what's with my internet today?
Shocking. I know.
Damn. Although I will say, I did enjoy, and again, I also think that is another reason why this is failing, aside from Ezra Miller being a complete and utter douchebag.
Who Zack Snyder hired? He cast him.
I also think that because of the shakeup and because James Gunn is hitting the reset button, I think a lot of people just felt, why the fuck am I wasting my time even with this movie? Because it's not going to really connect to anything. Although I will say, I saw the trailer before the movie, and I actually am interested in Blue Beetle. It looks like fun. Okay, I don't know. I think it looks like fun. I love the guy, the kid, because he's from Cobra Kai, and I really love Cobra Kai. So, I don't know.
Now,
will I see it in theater? Probably not. Probably not.
James Gunn said something about Blue Beetle as kind of being the first DCU film, which that's his thing, is the DCU. And I'm like, is that because you want that kid in your Booster Gold series? Because Booster Gold and Blue Beetle have a lot of
yeah. Well, I think he needs to do that and then get Chris Pratt to come over and play Booster Gold, and I'll be down with that. You know, he's gonna pinch as many people as he can from Marvel.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he's gonna do some
absolutely
for sure.
I mean, he's already got what was it? He's already got Karen Gillan lobbying for Ivy.
Oh, that would be
Which
great.
I am all for that. I love her.
Wow.
She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's already a redhead. She's
a ginger. She's a ginger.
A genuine ginger. Yes.
Freaking for it.
Stop the ginger side.
I'm sorry. Again, that Batman movie was terrible. So I've been waiting for Poison Ivy to be done correctly. I've been waiting for another live action Poison Ivy. I need that. We've already seen Catwoman. We've seen Harley Quinn. Please give me the third Siren. Let's do Poison Ivy for the love of God. Yeah, I'm all for it.
I'd do Ivy.
I know you would.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we all would. I know I would. She's hot.
I'd do all three of them
at the same time.
At the same time. 2 chicks, 3 chicks at the same time.
Vera, with that kind of money, I could set that up.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about Office Space this week on Rebel Rock Radio. That's going to be so much fun. Holy shit. Well, I don't know. Are we good? Do we tear this movie apart enough? I think so. I think
there's
we did a sufficient job.
No amount that's genuinely enough, honestly.
Oh my God.
You just keep going for days and days.
What a fucking failure. JV, now I think you wanted to show us something, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's when I hit record, but somehow your shares. You're gonna nix that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna nix that. But what I do want to share through the 15th of next month, my merch store. We're doing another fundraiser. I'm doing another fundraiser for the Stuttering Foundation of America, and I gave you the link. And if you could pull up the link, show you what we're doing. We're going with the it's a double design shirt where I've got my main logo. It's smaller, but it's like in the pocket area. Okay. And then on the back, if we can pull it up, that would be.
No, not a problem. And it's actually the link is actually pinned in the chat for everyone to see. But there it is. I think that's actually really cute.
So it's keep talking.
I love it.
Bitches. So we got Harley Quinn and we got Punchline there. Yeah. So this is going through July 15th, and 100% of all the proceeds are going to the Stuttering Foundation.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
That's really, really wonderful. I will definitely be getting one because I think it's a really sweet design.
And it's a great cause too.
Yeah, no, it is a great cause, and we're all about causes here. So I'm totally for it. And plus, I like that it says bitches for some reason. So I'm cool with that.
I like that. That's what the focus is. Bitches.
Bitches. All them bitches.
All them bitches.
There you go, folks.
And they can be too. I'm just saying. I know from experience.
But people, please support this wonderful cause. Please support this wonderful cause. You know that we are also about our own causes on this show. So, again. The link is pinned to the chat, so go give that a look. And JV, before we wrap this up, do you have anything else coming up?
Oh, well, as you know, I'm a busy guy. So I've got earlier this morning, I dropped my last week's news now, my Monday video. I believe at the time people are watching this, I will be doing my over on Legion Talk, my Game of Thrones panel there, where we are in season 4, episode 2. Nothing happens there at all. Jeff dies. It's wonderful.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that kid.
But he was so sweet in Batman Begins.
Yes. And then
I still can't believe that that's the same kid. That always blows my mind because he is
Batman
such
gave him a little periscope. It
he's
was
such
great.
a twat in Game of Thrones. I don't think I've ever hated a character as much as I hated
He's a
Joffrey.
twat.
He's a twat. What a dick.
Twat. So, and then anyway, so the Wednesday I will be dropping my review of this clusterfuck that is the Flash.
It is.
Thursday I will be on with Static 2020 and over on his channel. I believe it's going to be myself, Static, Wookie Be Bad.
Oh, you are a busy boy.
Well, yeah, and I'm not done, and I'm not done
Keep
yet.
going. Keep talking.
Friday I will be reviewing the newest dumpster fire from Marvel. That will be Secret Invasion, because Disney Marvel sucks now. Yeah. And then Friday I will be back on Legion Talk again for Friday night's Royal Rumble, which it'll be talking about the week in pop culture, and then both Legion Talk shows I will be simulcasting from my channel as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Very nice. Oh, thank you so much, JV. No, and I'm happy that you're on that you're doing so much. It's really great. Please check them out. We got the YouTube channel there scrolling down there at the bottom. So please go subscribe. Watch some of his past videos. And right before we wrap this up,
it builds the hours too. It builds
hours exactly. Too. So
I need hours new because the
because the new monetization. So how close are you to 500? Are you there already?
I'm at 477.
All right, come on, guys.
So close. Come on.
We're at 271. Actually, we're ticking up. So we want to get to 500 too. So, but before now that JV got all of his spiel out of the way, got a new little part of this segment. Last but not least, out of 4 cinnamon roll splats, what would you give this movie, JV? 0 splats. Honey?
I mean, I want to give it half a splat just from the dribble. Just from the dribble in my pants at the beginning when I was actually excited for it. But, that dried up pretty quick. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with 0 splats on this one, too. This is a dry-ass cinnamon roll.
Well, then I guess it's only 1. I guess we'll just throw it a bone and give it 1. But... yeah, I would probably have to agree. I'm going to have to give this...
It's not even worth the splat.
Yeah, I know. But I just really wanted to use the effect.
It's not worth the effort. My arm's tired. Yeah.
Well, this was one dry cinnamon roll.
Yes, it was.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, comment on this video. Make sure to follow JV. Share it, please, for the love of God. And, check out all our past videos. Do it now.
Toodles.
All right, everyone. Should we end with our Sith Chinchilla? Let's end with Sith Chinchilla.
Of course.
All right. Bye, everyone.